Okay, good morning. So today we will start the unit number 4, that is the compression member or column. Actually, in the previous syllabus, they are the two chapters. Compression member is different and column is the different. But as per the your new syllabus for the revised for the okay. So this is the unit number 4, and as I have told you, as in the earlier syllabus, the compression member and column, these are the two different separate chapter. Actually, after the compression member, there will be the column, because same theory we are using for the compression member. This is same theory applicable to the column. This compression member and column, these are the two members. Actually, in the compression member we are calling the member as a strut, and in the column we are calling as a member as a column. So these two members are under only the compressive load, as we have seen the tensile member or tension member. Like that, these members are carrying a compressive load. So column and compression member. So what are the compression member, that we will see in detail, and that column part is the next part after the compression member, that we will see in again detail. So initially, now we will see the compression member, and after the completion of this compression member part, we will go to the column. So these two chapters here we have combined. University has combined for this time for your syllabus. So we will see the what is compression member first. So see, it is exactly opposite to the tension member. The compression member is nothing but the member which carries the axial compression is known as the compression member. Here they have written the structural member subjected to axial compression or compressive force. In tension member, what we have seen, the member is pulling, the member is pulled by the tensile force. The member is pulled by the tensile force. That is nothing but the tensile member. But here the compression member is subjected to axial force or axial compression. So here we have written the definition. The structural member subjected to axial compression. म्हणजेच आपण एखादा तुमच्या समोर पेन असेल, जर पेन धरला, पेनच्या दोन्ही टोकाला तुम्ही पकडलं आणि जर आतमध्ये जर कॉम्प्रेस केलं, तर that compressive force is coming on this pen. And if you hold the pen at two ends and pull, this is the tension force. If you pull the pen by keeping two ends, that is the tension. And if you keep the pen at two ends and push inside, axially push, that is the compression. So are you getting the difference between tension and compression? Tension is nothing but pull on any member, and compression is nothing but the push on any member. So we can define the compression member. The compression member is subjected to axial compression or axial force. Now, next point is the design governed by strength and buckling. So generally the compression member will be fail due to buckling only, because we are applying the compressive force from the both ends. So there may be chance of the buckle, and due to buckling only the compression member will fail. So we have to find out the strength due to buckling here only. As we have in tension member, what we have did, we have find out the strength due to the yielding of cross section, rupture of critical section, block shear, because they have the criteria for the buckling or buckling criteria of the failure in tension member we have seen. So similarly here, the design strength, design governed means design strength by the strength and buckling we have to calculate in this chapter. Then what is compression member we have seen? So how many types, or what are the types of the compression member that we have to see? So there are the two types of the compression member. One is the column or post, and second is the strut. So the compressive load is coming on the column and strut. But now in the compression member part, we will see the only design of truss, as we have seen the design of tension member. So similar to the design of tension member, in the compression member, we will see the design of strut and this column part. The second type of the compression member is the column, and this column part we will see afterwards. Okay, after the design of strut, we will see the design of column. So there are two types of the compression member, and one is the column, or we can call as a post, and second is the strut. So we are calling as a compression member in strut, truss as strut, and the vertical long length members are the columns. So these are the two types of the compression members, column and strut. So we will design these two members in this chapter number 4. So next point is the sections used for the compression member. So which sections we are using in the tension member? We have seen the plates we are using, angles we are using. You can use the channels, I sections, such like this. In compression member also, which member we are using? So I have told you, you have analyzed the truss. You have analyzed the truss in the applied mechanics in first year. So at that time you have find the only forces. That forces are the tensile and compressive forces. So there the members are, these members are under the compressive loads. You have seen the or analyzed the truss. So you know which members carries the compressive load, and how to give the nature for the compression and tension, that you know, and that you have analyzed the truss. So here uh, we can see the which sections we can use as a compression member. So the shapes can be used for the column to resist given loads. So however, in a practical point of view, the number of possible solutions is limited by the sections availability. So we have to use the sections uh, depends upon the loading condition. So you can see here the various types of the compression members are there. So single angle, as we have seen in tension member also, single angle we have used for the tension member. Here also we can use the compression member also. Then a double angle. This here again you can see here double angle connected back to back. You can see here we have seen in the tension member also. So double angle we can use as a compression member. Then T section, T steel section we can use as a compression member. Then channel again we can use as a compression member. Then W column, it means the it is I section. Okay, so we calling as ISMB, ISHB, these are the I sections. So W column here called I sections also we can use as a compression member. Then pipe or round hollow steel sections, it means tube also we can use. So it may be square or it may be rounded. Here they have written square HSS means hollow steel section. Means circular or rectangular tube we can use, or here circular tube we can use as a compression member. Again here rectangular hollow steel section we can use as a compression member. Here four angles box section means you can see each corner they have placed the angles, and they have the angles, four angles have connected by this means of some splice, as we have seen in the last unit, splice in the tension member. Such splice also here used, and the four angles are connected by using this splice. So we can use the four angles as a compression member. It means we can call this a built-up section. These four angles connected each other, so we can call as a built-up section. So here also box section. So two channel sections they have connected. Two channel section they have placed here face to face. This is also called as a box section, and we can use as a compression or column purpose. Here the again box section is there. Here the two channel sections connected and placed opposite side. Here the facing sides are face to face. Two angle sections here placed, but here back to back two angle sections are placed. Again, next column compression member we can use is the I section with cover plate. This top and bottom the cover plates are used. So in this way we can use the compression member I section with cover plates. Again W and channel. So channel it means I section with channel we can use as a compression member. Again here four built up angle sections are there. Means four angle sections connected with one plate, middle plate, and that four angle sections have connected back to back at each end of the plate. Again same built up section, this built up section, these are the four angle sections. At middle one plate is there, and top and bottom also plate is there. So these all the sections we can use as a compression member, and it is nothing for nothing but for only in the truss we can use as a long column also. Okay, so these are the various types of the sections we can use as a compression member for as well as a column. Okay, so now next part is the so before that, just a minute. So I have to tell you here the what is column and what is strut, that I have to tell you. There are two types of the compression member, but what is column and what is strut, that I will explain you. Actually the column or post, the column or post is nothing but the column or post is the vertical compressing member supporting floor or girder. This column and post is nothing but it is a vertical compression member to support the floor or girder. It means the columns are vertical members. They are supporting to floor. फ्लोअर म्हणजे आपलं कोणतंही रूप असेल त्या रूपला ते सपोर्ट करायचं काम करतात. और गर्डर, गर्डर मीन्स heavy length girders are there. Beam त्याला म्हणतो, horizontal beams we called as a girder. So these supported by the columns, and these are the vertical compression member. Second type of the member compression member is the strut, and these strut members we are using in the truss. We are calling as a strut, and this strut member we are using in the truss. So I will show you by the sketch. Okay, my screen is visible. Screen is visible.
Yes, sir.
Okay, if we see this is the industrial shed, it means this is the truss, and this truss is supported on this column. If this is the, so this whole structure we are calling as a truss. This whole above part, याला आपण काय म्हणतो, रूफ ट्रस असं म्हणतो, हा जो वरचा पार्ट आहे. दिस इज कॉलम, or we can call it as a post, and so this is vertical member. So these vertical members, these all vertical members we are calling as a strut. You can see this whole above part we are calling as a truss. Then these vertical members are we are calling as a strut. This vertical post we are calling as a column. So this member, this underlying member are under compression. Also this member is the principal rafter. Principal rafter, this is also under the compression. So this 1, 2 and 3. So these are the two supporting, column is supporting to the girder or any floor. So this is the floor, one of the floor. Roof truss is the nothing but the one of the floor. So column is supporting to this floor. Are you getting? And this strut member and principal rafter are also compression member, but they are in this truss. Truss. ही जी ट्रस आहे या ट्रस मध्ये हे मेंबर्स आहेत. So principal rafter and strut, these are the members of the truss. So the vertical all members are nothing but the strut. The load coming like this, load coming on the joint like this. So if the load coming on the like this, the buckling will happen like this, the vertical member. These are the vertical member are buckles due to this force. It means this is the member, and if the load coming on this member like this, then this member will buckle like this. Because here the joint is fixed, again here the joint is fixed, then no chance of this displacement at this point. या ठिकाणी डिस्प्लेसमेंट होईल का, जर फिक्स असतील तर नाही होणार. सो व्हॉट विल हॅपन, दिस वर्टिकल मेंबर विल बकल लाईक दिस. सो दिस इज दी buckling, and more due to more buckling the column or compression member will be fail. Same here, this is the column, so column also fail due to such buckling. Here also, because downward load is there from the truss, so there may be again buckling is there. So this is nothing but the buckling. Are you getting? So principal rafter, these inclined members, these two inclined member and vertical member are nothing but the principal rafter and strut, and they are always carrying the compressive load. Are you getting? So compressive load कोण कोण घेते या ट्रस मध्ये किंवा या स्ट्रक्चर मध्ये, हे इंडस्ट्रियल शेड आहे, स्टील स्ट्रक्चरल शेड आहे. So this steel structural shed, the components principal rafter, strut and column, these are under the compression, and this member is the we are calling as a tie member. So tie member, and this carries a tensile load, or maybe these inclined members, whatever the inclined members, they are under tension. Are you getting? So in this truss, so this horizontal cord is always carrying a tension force, and this inclined member and vertical are the principal rafter and strut always carries a compressive load, and this column This column, these two columns are again under the compression. So these two column we have to design separately. आता आपण compression member म्हणजे हे member फक्त डिझाइन करणार आहे, प्रिन्सिपल ड्राफ्टर स्ट्रट. हे वर्टिकल मेंबर फक्त या चॅप्टर मध्ये कॉम्प्रेशन मेंबर मध्ये डिझाइन करणार. And this column is the second part of this chapter, unit number 4, that we will learn in detail again as a column. Are you getting? So this chapter is divided in two parts. So if the member compression members under the strut, sorry, truss, या ट्रस मधले जे कॉम्प्रेशन मेंबर आहेत त्यालाच आपण स्ट्रट आणि प्रिन्सिपल ड्राफ्टर म्हणतो. हे आपण डिझाइन करणार आहे पहिल्या पार्ट मध्ये ऍज अ कॉम्प्रेशन मेंबर. अँड second part is this vertical member as a column, and that we will design in the second part. So first we will design the strut, and second we will design the column. Are you getting? These two members, strut and column, we will design in this chapter. So the design procedure for strut and design procedure of column, for column we will see, and we will design in detail. Are you getting? So lakshat aala how the steel structure is there and what are the compression members are there. So in this truss we are using the angle sections as a compression member, and these members are the strut members and principal ड्राफ्टर. And in a column, these are the vertical posts, these are the column, we are using a channel section or I section, channel section and I section for this column. Okay. Okay, so now here what is strut actually? So strut, how we define the strut? The strut we can define the actually there are two types of truss, strut: continuous strut and discontinuous strut. We can define the continuous strut and discontinuous strut. So what is mean by continuous strut? The continuous strut, it is the compression member which is continuous over the number of joint, and discontinuous strut is nothing but it is a compression member which runs between two adjacent joint. So how this we can define this strut? See, this is the truss, and in this truss, this is the principal ड्राफ्टर, and these all vertical members, 1, 2, these members are we are calling as a strut. So this principal ड्राफ्टर and we are calling as a continuous strut, and these are the discontinuous strut. See the basic difference between continuous strut. This is the continuous strut and this is the discontinuous strut. So actually strut is divided into continuous and discontinuous. So what is meant by continuous strut and what is meant by discontinuous strut? So I have explained the definition, but we will see again. See, the principal ड्राफ्टर or we are calling as a continuous strut. It means what? This is the compression member. See, continuous strut is nothing but it is a compression member. See this member. It is a compression member used in roof truss continuous over the number of joints. See, whatever I have told you, please be patient, concentrate here. So this inclined member is the principal rupture, or we are calling as a continuous strut. So how I define this? It is a compression member used in a roof truss, continuous over the joint. Continuous over the joint means this is the first joint, this is the second joint, this is third, fourth and fifth. These are the joints of this strut. So continuous over the joint म्हणजे पहिल्या joint वरून हा continue झाला इथे आला third, fourth म्हणजे this is the one member but continuous over the first joint to the second, second to the third, third to the fourth and fifth, like this. So continuous strut, why we are calling as a continuous strut? Because this is the continuous member from joint to joint, from one joint to the another joint, continuous. So we are calling as a continuous strut, or we can call as a principal rupture. Are you getting what is continuous strut? The member, it is the compression member used in a roof truss, and it member continuous over the joint. Over the joint means this is the first joint, second joint, third joint and fourth joint. म्हणजे एका जॉइंट पासून शेवटच्या जॉइंट पर्यंत हा कंटिन्यूअस होत जातो, म्हणून आपण त्याला कंटिन्यूअस स्ट्रट म्हणतो. So this inclined member, whole inclined member is nothing but the continuous strut. Now discontinuous strut. Second, this is the discontinuous strut. So you can again write down. Sorry, you can again concentrate here. So what is discontinuous strut? So see, this is the joint and this is the joint. So this member, now you can see here, this member is not continuous between two joints. This is the first joint and this is the second joint. Similarly, this is the first joint, this is the second joint. So these members are discontinuous. Why we are calling as a discontinuous? Because they are having only two joints at the ends. So we are calling as a discontinuous. So how we'll define the discontinuous strut? It is a compression member. It is a compression member in a roof truss which runs between two adjacent joints. So these are the number one and number two. These are the only two adjacent joints are there. So we are calling as a discontinuous. You are getting what is the difference between continuous strut and discontinuous strut. So these continuous and discontinuous struts we are designing in the first part, that is the design of compression member, and at the time of design of column we will see these posts or columns. Are you getting the difference between continuous and discontinuous? Okay. So this is the column and post we have seen. So these two members we have to design. So next part is the effective length of the compression member. So effective length of the compression member. So actually the column is a vertical member, or compression member is a vertical or inclined member. So there are boundary conditions are there. At the end there are boundary conditions are there. So here we have written column end conditions and effective length. If the column is fixed at both ends, if the column is or compression member is fixed at both ends, if fixed hinged at both ends, if fixed at one, if hinged at one, that conditions they have given here. So both ends hinged here, both ends hinged. So open the IS code, page number 45. Page number 45. For this we have to open the IS code only. then and then you will understand. Open the IS code, page number 45. Okay, so but they have given the first condition, that is the both end hinged. So both end hinged, the condition here, effective length. You can see here this image. First A, small a, pinned end means both ends are hinged. At that time, effective length L is equal to 1 L. K is equal to, here K factor is there, the 1 L means effective length and given length, both lengths are equal. So we have to calculate effective length from the length given to the member. So for this boundary condition, both ends are hinged. Now second, both ends fixed. So here both ends are fixed. Here C condition, but here the value is given, wrong value is given. This L effective for both ends fixed is 0.65 L is there. So that you can go on the page number 45. Page number 45. So on the page number 45, last condition they have given. Such figures you can see on the page number 45. Last condition. Everyone has opened the page number 45 of IS 800. Please reply, anyone.
0.65.
So now you can see here, first condition first. Both ends hinged. Both ends hinged. That first condition on page number 45, that condition is number 3. See, please, this is very important part of this chapter. जर तुम्हाला ह्या इफेक्टिव्ह लेंथ कॅल्क्युलेट करता नाहीत आल्या तर या चॅप्टर सारखा सोपा आणि अवघड चॅप्टर कुठलाच नाही. 100% हा चॅप्टर तुम्हाला मार्क्स मिळवून देणारा चॅप्टर आहे. पण जर इफेक्टिव्ह लेंथ कॅल्क्युलेट करता नाही आली तर सगळं झिरो आहे. त्यामुळे हे खूप महत्वाचं आहे. एवढीच स्टेप खूप महत्वाची, हा पार्ट आहे तो. सो फर्स्ट सी बोथ एंड हिंज्ड म्हणजे हिंज सपोर्ट आहेत. सो हियर नंबर 3 यू कॅन राईट डाऊन युअर IS code. बोथ एंड हिंज्ड पेन्सिल लिहा कुठे तर तिथं 3 नंबरची स्टेप म्हणजे बोथ एंड